Hello and welcome to this video called Feng Shui for your sex life. And my name is Sarah Rose Bright. I'm a sex, pleasure and intimacy coach. And I'm going to start doing a series of videos with my newsletter, sharing some just great information and a practice every time that you can take away into your life, because I have so many wonderful practices that I've learned and explored over the years myself and with my clients, and I really want to share some of those with you. So, Feng Shui for your sex life, you might be wondering how this relates to sex. I'm going to share a little bit about that, share about the practice, and then also share about my online course, Ignite Your Sexuality. And it's going to be the last time that I run this live. And so I'm going to be telling you a little bit about that as well. So Feng Shui, what is it? It's an amazing system, and it relates to how the energy flows or not. Maybe it's blocked and stagnant in our homes. And it's a practice that I've worked myself with for many years in my own home, to some fascinating and incredible surprises, actually. And it's something that I really believe works. I'm a real fan. Some of you will know of Qigong, which is a system for cultivating life force within your body and your being. And I feel sort of Feng Shui a bit like a sort of outer representation of that, helping our homes to really flow with energy. And one of these things that one of the books that I love about this is a practice by a woman called Marie Kondo, and the book's called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying. And it's one of my favorite books. And she's very much, what she does for the home is sort of, aligned with what I do with sexuality, because she asks the question, she asks you to pick up every single item that you own and bit by bit say, which one brings joy in your heart? And if it doesn't bring joy, to let it go. And it's wonderful because when you do this system, the whole energy changes totally in your home. The vibration changes. You look around and it just feels great because it's surrounded by things you actually love, rather than things that you maybe kept because somebody gave you. For all sorts of reasons, we can keep stuff. I really recommend reading the book. And so it just made me think, as I was sort of exploring these concepts over the years, how often do we actually do this for our sex lives? We might look at where we're stuck or blocked in our work or in our health or in our relationships, but very little attention is focused on our sex lives. And I think it's really great to do this because, just like with anything in our lives, we can get into habits, and sometimes those habits can be really fantastic, but other times they can be places where we do feel stuck or bored or frustrated, lots of different things. So I feel that sort of applying the practice of Feng Shui to your sex life is really important. And, it's a bit like what I do with my clients. I've had clients say to me when they've done the first couple of sessions with me, I feel like I've just done an MOT on my sex life, like we take the car in the garage and we just optimize everything that's working and fix the things that aren't. And it's exactly the same. That's some of the work I do with my clients, is optimize what's working, and we look at where things can be changed or improved. So I just put that concept to you. Is that something that you do in your sex life? And that's whether you're single or you're in a relationship. It doesn't matter. You could absolutely apply this to both. And if so, what does that look like? How does that work for you? Let me know. I'd love to hear that. And if not, how does that feel to entertain that possibility? As you scan across your current sex life, are you feeling areas where you may be feeling a bit sort of blocked, bored, frustrated, or stuck? And so, sometimes we can feel like that because we don't know anything else. So a lot of people come to me and they know what they don't want, but they don't know what they do want. And that comes down to the fact that we haven't had any education in this area of our lives, often, all sorts of different reasons. So if you feel any of those feelings, but you're not sure what's possible, don't worry, there's absolutely tons that you can do. So I want to give you a practice to start to look at your sex life through a different lens. And when I mean sex life, I mean any sort of sexual activity in the broadest range possible. It's certainly not limited to penetration, and it's sex on your own, it's sex with other people, a partner, lovers, however that is for you. So this practice starts by, just like Marie Kondo does in The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying, it starts by asking you, yourself, what is it that's brought you joy in your sex life, maybe currently or previously? So I would invite you to create some time, get a notepad and create some time for yourself, when you're totally undisturbed, and ideally something, that feels nice. So it might be sitting with a cup of coffee in a nice little coffee shop that you love, or having a bath and doing this as a contemplation exercise. And if you love bubble baths, it might be going for a walk somewhere beautiful, or just locking yourself in a room. Might have a busy life that you just have to lock yourself in a room somewhere, and half an hour or 15 minutes is what you have. So make it work for you. But if you can do it, create a nice environment for yourself to do it in. And the questions to ponder are sort of, what's brought you joy in your sex life? What are the experiences that you really stand out for you? And I would say maybe just 2 or 3 of them, and look at those experiences and what are the sort of qualities and of those experiences. So it might be the qualities, for example, of there was no time pressure, or I was on holiday, or I was feeling really relaxed, those sort of qualities, or I hadn't seen my partner for a while and I was so excited to see them. And then look at also, it might be what actually you did together. So it might be a specific aspect of your sex life. It might be a specific sex act. It might be, it could be anything. So what is it that you actually did, and what was it about that brought you joy? So as you examine those, just to make notes, because you might make some notes and start to see some themes in the experiences that you're having. You might be well aware of them, but you may have new understandings, new insights. Also, you can explore your sort of fantasies. So are there specific fantasies that really turn you on? And what is it about those fantasies? So, for example, it may not be the act itself, but it might be, for example, in the fantasy that you were really desired, or you really felt desire. It can be sometimes those sort of aspects of the fantasies that are the key parts, not so much the actual act. Though it might be the act, it might be that you felt powerful, or you felt really seen, or it might be that you felt really connected, really intimate, whatever it is for you. And if you don't fantasize, because I do get a lot of people say to me, particularly women, I don't fantasize, but when we actually dig deeply, they might daydream and they just don't call it a fantasy. So it might be just specific sexual thoughts that you've had. It doesn't have to be a sort of a storyline and a script, any of those. And if you haven't had any experiences that you feel have really brought you joy in your sex life, or you don't have any fantasies, what do you imagine a wonderful sexual, joyful experience would look like for you? If you really had that blank canvas, what would you imagine that would look like? What really lights you up inside as you think about it, as you explore that in your imagination? So all of these, as we start to explore them, give some clues as to what our sort of sexual blueprint is, if you like, because I believe that we all have things that just we're really guided to do and enjoy, in a way that we just might play music rather than make art, or we might paint rather than draw with pencils. We're just guided to do certain things, and we have certain things just light us up compared to other people. Because they're uniquely our sort of path. And so I really invite you to look at what really lights you up in as you sort of explore these different experiences and imaginings and desires and fantasies. So and when you've got that, that sense of it, that might be really exciting. It might be something that gives you some, it might be something that's not new. It might be exciting that you want to share with a partner, or it's going to make you feel, actually, this is what I really want to create in my next intimate experience or my next intimate relationship. But also it might leave you feeling a little sad, or it might leave you feeling, this is not what I'm experiencing right now. And it might mean actually braving some courageous conversations about what's happening in your sex life. So just bear with me 1 second. The phone just rang. Stop now. And so just to sort of, just to let you know that there may be a range of feelings and emotions come up about this exercise. However, it's a really great exercise to do. It's also a great exercise to share with a partner if you have one, or to discuss with a new partner or lover as well, because it can really evoke some fabulous conversations when we sort of share what feels really alive for us, what our desires are in this way, what brings us joy in our sexual experiences. And, you know, we have to, if we want to have an amazing fulfilling sexual experiences, we have to share and brave sharing what's true for us, because we're not going to get that if we don't. And I totally get that for some people that may be really challenging and edgy in itself, and might feel impossible right now, but I promise you there was a time when I never thought I could share any of this. So I'm not going to go into that today, but actually that would actually make a really great one going forward. So I will do more on that going forward. So I just wanted to leave this practice with you. And it's a practice I really recommend as well, doing every so often, because, you know, again, it's just one of many practices we can do to sort of feng shui our sex lives. And doing it every sort of 12 months or something can be really helpful, because, you know, sometimes we just do get bored or stuck and we don't quite know how to get out of it, or we want something different and we don't know how to say it, or we don't know, you know, actually might feel scary to even admit it. So I hope that inspires you. Do let me know how you get on, because I really love to hear. And if this works for you and your experiences, please do share. So I want to finish by sharing with you about Ignite Your Sexuality. It's my online course for women, and it's the last time that I'm going to be running this as a live course. I absolutely love this course. It's the 4th time I've ran it, but I'm actually going to next year just record it, the content, because my heart's been called to go deeper into certain areas that I'm already working in. And so I've got to let go of some of those to create space for feng shui for my work life. And so Ignite is, it starts on the 30th of October, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. GMT. And it's a series of 6 weekly webinars where I do some teachings around all different aspects of our sex life. It really is feng shui for our sex lives. It's a women-only course. And we're going to cover all sorts of amazing things. We're going to cover what are the challenges and the messages we get, what's possible when we look at a new approach to sex and sexuality through the eyes of pleasure rather than performance and goal. We're going to explore what are the foundations for a great sex life. So, for example, self-love, body love, listening to and trusting our bodies, really getting to know what lights us up in our pleasures, in all aspects of our lives, actually, allowing pleasure in the day-to-day, how much pleasure we can experience, because we often have a pleasure capacity where we experience pleasure if we allow ourselves to, and then we shut down. So, for example, we might feel guilt, is a very, very common one. We're going to explore desire. We're going to look at our sexual desire in our lives and how do we positively cultivate that, because there's many reasons why our desire can be low in our sort of stressed out, busy, fast culture. And for me, it's about how we cultivate that. And this is not just our sexual desire. This is our vitality for life. We're going to look at pleasure. We're going to look at our pleasure anatomy. We're going to look at our relationship with our genitals and shifting that into a power source and really befriending this area of our bodies. We're going to be looking at how arousal works. We're going to be looking at orgasms and what's possible. We're going to be looking at a self-pleasure practice that becomes something that really meets you where you're at and expands it beyond just going for the goal of orgasm. We're going to be looking at who we are as erotic beings. So this practice I shared with you is just part of a number of things that we're going to explore to really connect with our truth and our authenticity. And all of this, you know, as we do this, it can feel really scary to start with. It can feel impossible. It can feel uncomfortable. It can feel fearful, but it also maybe feels a mix of some of those with excitement and possibility and a knowing that this is an area of your life that maybe needs attention. So I'd love to be your guide if I'm speaking to you around this. And this 6 weeks is an amazing opportunity to really shine the spotlight and ignite this area of your lives. And for some women, it can be just mind-blowingly transformative. And for others, it really ignites them and just sets them off. You know, once that door's open, there's no going back. And for me, it's not just about our sex lives. It's about our ability to shine and be happy and healthy day to day. And I'm going to share practices like Qigong and breast massage, which really help us to They're practices for our sexual health and well-being, not just for the bedroom. They're practices to help us connect with our bodies, to help us to really enjoy who we are and to be present. And just as I said that, a beautiful butterfly just literally just flew past the window, and I haven't seen any for days. So the course is, so it's 6 weeks. I'm going to share the 6 webinars with you. You can join me live and there's an opportunity for Q&A. And if you can't join me live, then you can get the recording straight afterwards. Each week I send a list of practices, some recommended practices for the week and some bonus practices. There's some amazing, juicy, wonderful, wonderful stuff, resources. One of the people, she said, one of the past participants said, you have just curated an amazing 6 weeks of a course with amazing resources, really well structured. And I get some really, really great feedback on the course. And so if this speaks to you, the cost of the course is £295 for 2 weeks. Sorry, it's for 6 weeks. So yeah, 295 for the 6 weeks, and I feel it's amazing value for money in terms of what you get, and it really is a gift to yourself. Coming together with the women on the course, the Facebook community that we create is we just create a really fabulous 6 weeks where we all journey together, support each other and inspire each other. I'd just love to share with you some quotes of people that have done the course. So Ruth said, Sarah has provided a roadmap with years of brilliant material to help transform our sex lives. I'm starting to embody the goddess I could only dream of before. Kath said, when I started Ignite, I felt I wasn't good enough, that I had no sex drive and there was no hope. I now know that I am normal. I have my whole life to learn about pleasure and can take my time. It's inspired me to bring much more pleasure into my life and given me a hope for a future full of beautiful sex and intimacy. Sarah said, I love this course with Sarah. It was transformative for me, igniting my sexual energy, which I'd felt disconnected to. I feel sexier and more alive. I've got a new appreciation of my body. I feel a new sense of freedom and possibility. I felt nervous before starting the course, but Sarah creates such a supportive and loving circle of women that I felt comfortable enough to talk about anything. And Julie said, Ignite has given me the opportunity to talk openly and freely about sex with no inhibition or sense of shame, and to learn, and more importantly, to feel that it's normal to have urges and desires that bubble up, and to honor them in a positive way rather than repress them. And funny enough, I met this person the other week who she's now in an amazing relationship, and she said, I'm just actually putting into practice all the stuff at another level that we learn on Ignite, and having a great time. So just to share you a little bit about the course. And, for me, this course, I've worked with so many women in the last 10 years that I've been doing this work. 15 years ago, I started my journey, and I came into this work not because I was great in bed, but because I was terrified of it. I really have done my own work on this. I never thought I'd be here doing this with you today. So it's a total honor and a pleasure for me to share this course with you, because this is the course which is all of the things that I have worked with my female clients for many, many years, distilled into this 6 weeks. Because some women don't need that level of one-to-one work. They just need the teachings, and they need the permission and the support. For others, it's a gateway. They might go deeper into one-to-one as it opens the doors. For others, they just fly with it. So wherever you're at, if this course is speaking to you, I would really encourage you to get in touch with me as soon as possible. You can get in touch with me with any questions that you may have. If you go to my website, sarahrosebright.co.uk/events, on the events page, you'll see the advert for Ignite Your Sexuality. Do read through there. All the information is on there. But if you've got any questions, if you're wondering, is this for me with this situation? I've had women of all ages, from their 20s through to postmenopausal, and I have women who are all, single or a relationship. It doesn't matter. The course is available for everybody. And so, please, if you've got any questions at all, please message me. I'm really, really happy to check in and answer. And other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you will take this practice away and play with it. And as always, thank you for the opportunity to share this with you. And I look forward to next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.